Here with head football coach Steve Johnson. And coach, last week 27-42 against St. John's. Obviously a great game between two good opponents, but come up short. What was your takeaway from Saturday?
Boy, great crowd, beautiful day. Disappointed with some turnovers, disappointed with, some of the base things that coaches are. And St. John's and Bethel is always a great rivalry. And we started Jake Marsh at quarterback. Did a great job. He had some, there's some things to fix, but for a first start, phenomenal. So, exciting day, exciting plays. We got down early, and that kind of takes you out of some things and puts some undue pressure on. And Johnnies are good. They made plays, and it is what it is. But we got to grow from here. And there's a huge piece of who we are is staying together. And it's easier when you're, when things are going the way that you want them to, and it's kind of a life lesson for all of us, for our guys, for our coaches, and everything else. And, while we're disappointed, we're not disheartened, and we're going to get back after it day to day and win the rest of them.
Well, you talked about it already. Jake Marsh getting his first career start under center, and no bigger game than homecoming versus St. John's. But talk about his poise under pressure, and talk about, you probably didn't expect him to throw 50 times during that game, but, circumstances changed. Talk about how he responded throughout the game.
Well, we know he can throw, and we know he can run, but that is the presence that he has and the poise. We're just talking about it. At St. John's, it's homecoming. It's huge deal, and we have a lot of good weapons, and he's good at getting them to him, but his poise and his the way he was on the sidelines between series, it was truly remarkable. And so we're just really excited about him and about just a lot of things. There's a lot of great stuff that we're excited about, but we've got to get, and sometimes it's a confidence piece, and sometimes, but you can't wait for something good to happen. You have to make it happen, and that's what we need to do as coaches to help the guys have more success.
It seems like after, some of the games this season, maybe you could say about them all, it just seems like there's one play or one thing that you could correct and you could say, oh, we beat them the next time. Is that something that you feel like over the course of the season you kind of say, okay, let's go back to the drawing board, or do you just kind of say, okay, we still have the people here that can really win big games for us?
Yeah, Jared, that's a great question, but what you really want to do all the time is go back to the drawing board, win or lose. And so you really have to scour your stuff, but you can't get distracted by, a play here, a play there. But if you're not taking care of that, it's just going to continue to happen. And so it's a fine line, just like everything, is where we have to evaluate all the different things and see if the players can they do what we're asking them to do, and will they do that,
Right.
Or if they keep making the same mistakes, then we have to find somebody who will do that deal, or if they're maybe not able to and we're doing it. So there's a fine line, and we don't want to lower any expectations, right, because we have proud tradition, and we're not used to this, and we don't want to get used to this. At the same time, we have to accept where we are and not be knuckleheads, so we need to move on and be strong and stay in the fight, and that's who we are. And I have to start with me and, try to turn down the baby, and crybaby stuff, and then help the guys do that same thing. And then, you get to another deal. And that's the joy in this whole thing. We got that next thing, and got a group of guys that love each other, and we're pretty good, and we got to understand that.
Well, you get back to work this week. You get Carleton, who kind of had a crazy win last weekend, and obviously you're going to be probably playing not on their home turf, somewhere in Northfield. But what do you expect this weekend against the Knights?
Well, let me know as soon as you know where we're playing. But we really need to not worry about the Knights as far as and I'm big win for Coach Pagel last weekend, and coming off a Hamlin school that was just flying high. And so there's just, everybody's good, and everybody practices, and everybody's in this thing together. And so you kind of start living in your own little world if you're not careful. We really have to be who we are, and I feel like we need to put more pressure on the quarterback, and I feel like we need to run the ball well, and we need to make our decisions, make our reads more clear for the kids so that we can really play and play with freedom, and that's one of our goals. And We're not doing that yet, but I think we're kind of close. Like you said, we've won a lot of games over the years that, where we're looking at the other end of this. Well, 1 or 2 plays, and
right.
you don't really look at it that way, but the other guys probably were at their house. Yeah.
Coach, looking forward to this Saturday, and looking forward to get back on track. Good luck against the Knights, all right?
You two, can't wait.
Thanks, Coach.